Mind mapping is a powerful study skill that helps organize ideas visually. A mind map is an outline that uses visual shapes to create a map of ideas. It can be neat and tidy, like this example made on a computer. Mind maps can also be more homemade, using hand-drawn shapes and connections to organize thoughts. Mind maps can be very detailed and complicated, capturing a lot of information in a single view. Mind maps can also be very simple and straightforward, focusing on the main ideas and their connections. Mind maps are tools to help you make visual connections with information. They are study tools for you to use, and it doesn't matter how they look. As long as the mind map makes sense to you, it is a good one. Mind maps allow more creativity and flexibility than outlines. You can add information as you go along, and they help you understand and learn the material better. Mind maps are great for sorting ideas for essays. This example maps out topics for a paper about cancer, helping to identify main topics and supporting points. Mind maps are also good for studying. This example outlines key things to know about the periodic table, using colors to keep topics sorted. Here's another example of how a student mapped out key ideas about the periodic table, organizing information clearly and effectively. This student mapped out the main ideas of photosynthesis. Notice how the student used symbols to highlight important ideas and wrote the main equation at the top for quick reference. Mind mapping can improve your study skills. It might be hard at first, but once you learn the techniques, it can make your study time more productive and enjoyable. Let's practice creating a mind map together. Pause the video to gather your materials. A blank sheet of paper, at least one writing utensil, and markers or colored pencils if you want to get creative. Welcome back. We are going to practice mind mapping a lesson on the French Revolution. First, let's read through the slides together and then talk about how to mind map the information. In this pretend history lesson, we will identify important people and their roles, discuss the causes of the revolution, and discuss the results of the revolution. Pay attention to the following 3 lesson slides. Then we will mind map them together. Many important people were involved in the French Revolution. King Louis XVI was the last king of France, and his inability to fix the country's problems made people unhappy with his rule. His wife, Queen Marie Antoinette, was criticized for living a life of luxury while many French people were poor. On the other side, there were leaders like Maximilien Robespierre, who wanted radical changes and led the Reign of Terror, and Jean-Paul Marat, who encouraged violent actions against those who were seen as enemies of the revolution. Several things caused the revolution. One of the biggest issues was the unfair social system in France. Society was divided into 3 groups, or estates: the clergy, the nobility, and the common people. The common people, or third estate, made up 98% of the population but were forced to pay most of the taxes. Meanwhile, the clergy and nobility had many privileges and did not pay taxes, which made the poor angry. Economic problems also played a big role. The country was in debt, and this left the country deeply in debt. In addition, there were poor harvests in the 1780s that caused food shortages and high prices, making life harder for the common people. Lastly, the Enlightenment, a movement that promoted ideas about equality and freedom, inspired many people in France to demand a better government. The revolution had many important results. First, the monarchy was abolished, and King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette were executed. In their place, the people of France created a republic, where no one was born into power, and leaders were chosen by the people. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was written, stating that all men are born free and equal in rights. This was a huge step toward equality. However, the revolution was not all peaceful. During the Reign of Terror, many people were executed for being suspected enemies of the revolution, even if they were not guilty. After the revolution, even more changes came when Napoleon Bonaparte took control of the country in 1799, ending the revolution and becoming Emperor of France. That was a lot of information. It can be hard to know how to really learn information like this without just rereading it over and over again. But rereading is not studying. We must make sense of the information. One way we can make sense of the information is by grouping the main ideas in a mind map. Let's mind map this pretend French Revolution lesson together. The first thing you do on a mind map is decide what the main idea is. This would be like the title of a paper or an outline. What do you think the main idea of our lesson is? This one is easy. The main idea of our mind map is the French Revolution. Start by putting the main idea on your paper and circling it. Pause the video if you need a second to get started. Next, decide how many branches you want to draw off of your main idea. These will be the first subtopics in your map, similar to Roman numerals in an outline. We can identify the subtopics by looking back at the objectives. Our objectives are to identify important people and their roles, discuss the causes of the revolution, and discuss the results of the revolution. Now, add the topics to your main idea on the mind map. We have important people, causes of the war, and results of the war. Pause the video and resume when you are done drawing. Now we should go back to our lesson slides and find information to put into our map. The first topic is important people and their roles. Let's read the first slide and decide who the important people are. I identified 4 important people and highlighted them on this slide. King Louis XVI, Queen Marie Antoinette, Maximilien Robespierre, and Jean-Paul Marat played significant roles in the war. I am going to add them to my mind map. Let's add these important people to our maps under the Important People branch. Pause the video if you need time to write them down. Resume when you are ready. We're off to a great start. Now we can add more detail to the Important People topic. The lesson objective said that we needed to know important people and their roles. So let's add the roles to the map. Add the roles of King Louis, Marie Antoinette, Maximilien Robespierre, and Jean-Paul Marat to your map. Pause the video and resume when you are done writing down the roles. Great job! Now, on your own, do the same thing with the last 2 topics. The next topic is causes of the war. Reread the slide about the causes of the war. Identify what you think the main causes are. You may need to pause the video while you read and identify the causes. I identified the unfair social system, economic problems, food shortages, and the Enlightenment movement as the 4 key causes of the French Revolution. Add these to your map under Causes of the War. Pause the video while you add them to the map and resume when you're ready to move on to the last topic. This is the last lesson slide. Reread the slide and identify the main results of the war. Pause the video while you read and resume when you are ready to see what I chose as the main results of the war. I highlighted the 5 main results of the war. The monarchy was abolished. A republic was formed. The Declaration of Rights of Man was written. Many people were killed. And Napoleon Bonaparte took control. Pause the video and add these to your map under Results of the War. Resume the video when you are ready to see my example of a final product. You have now added most of the basic information from the lesson to your mind map. Let's review what we have so far. Your mind map should look somewhat like this one. Pause the video if you need to make any changes. Resume when you are ready to complete the lesson. What to do with your mind map? You can add more detail, make smaller bubbles or bullet points, practice remaking it without looking at your notes, use it to make a Quizlet, or study the mind map by asking yourself how each bubble connects to the main topic. Thanks for participating in the mind mapping lesson. Submit your version of the French Revolution mind map to your Learning Lab leader for credit on this assignment.